Absolute Radio.
Goodness, I went to a Bon Voyage party last night for Meow Meow. And it's left me a little shaken, I'll be honest with you. Anyway, welcome to the Frank Skinner Absolute Radio Show. I'm with Emily, I'm with Gareth.
Good morning.
What have you got?
I got pig iron! Oh, just don't lead me into it. I'm trying to wean myself off the pig iron.
Oh, don't be shy about the pig iron.
Oh, maybe you're right. So it's funny old times going on with. I love the idea that volcanoes are stopping aeroplanes from flying.
It's so like multiplex disaster movie. I love it.
It's sort of old world taking on modern world and winning.
Well, Laura came in when I was still asleep the other morning to tell me about it, and I just, when you just incorporate something into your dreams.
Oh, yeah.
I like that Laura always has to tell you what's going on in the world as well.
He just lies in bed slumbering, and she comes in and says things. Apparently there's going to be a general election. All right, fine. I can imagine it. Now, go on. So she came in and told you about...
Yeah, and I just incorporated it into my dream, so I thought it was a dream, and it wasn't until I was on the tube and they said, all flights are cancelled because of the volcanic ash, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's really happening. It's really happening.
So you thought you'd dreamt the whole thing? Oh, God.
Well, all I'm worried about is how am I going to get to Mauritius in a couple of weeks? I hope it subsides by then.
I think it'll clear by then, surely. I can't believe that the whole world has been brought down by ash. It's like being Cheryl Cole.
Oh,
for goodness
very
sake. Hey, do you see
Frank?
what you have to do? You have to think about the words involved and see if you can make any kind of play out of them. That's how my career's worked.
Apparently, Frank, John Cleese, even celebrities are affected by ash. John Cleese paid £3,000 to get a taxi, but he got the taxi from Norway to Brussels. Well, is that preferable in any way to end up in Brussels? I'd rather stay in Norway. You might see Aha or something.
Well, he wasn't going to Brussels for any specific reason.
Oh, I don't know. He's been mysterious.
Well, he's keeping a low profile. I think that's... No one can argue with that. Or was that the Hunchback of Notre Dame? One of them certainly used to. I've been to Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
It does feel like it's going to explode at any moment. Everywhere you go, you drive along roads and there's like hot air and hot water. If you can imagine being very, very small and driving across a teenager's face, that's what Iceland is like. So it's only a matter of time before the whole damn place goes up, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially if Kerry Katona can get that explosive device working. I tell you what I'd like to know.
Yeah.
If it's sand, they say it's sand, right? How does sand stay up in the air?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because steam, you can see that because it's lighter than...
Sounds quite
sand.
heavy, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, how does that... I mean, like, if you were watching golf and they chip one out the bunker, the sand doesn't just keep going up, does it?
Well, we should get some boffins to text in on 81215.
We should get some boffins. I'm starving. Yeah, there'll be some boffins listening. They're always up. But I'd really like to know that. It's confused me. I think, isn't it just a lot of those BA strikers just squirting lighter fuel into a volcano in Iceland thinking, yeah, we'll stop them.
Absolute Radio.
The Wannadies.
Well, they won't die. It's still going on.
No.
It's from Romeo and Juliet, wasn't it? The film that came out about Romeo and Juliet.
Was it?
A little bit of trivia.
The film that came out about... What was it, a documentary? Film that came out about...
We've had a text in, Frank, on 81215.
Well, that's good news, because sometimes I think there's no one out there.
Well, there is, and this is Ivor Staples. And can I just say I like that name?
He's in charge of stationery.
Yeah.
You had to say it, didn't you? You had to. Obviously, we all knew it was there, just under the surface, but you had to let it out. You're like Iceland in that way. Do go on.
Ivor starts very politely. He says, "Good morning, Frank, and all at Absolute Radio. I trust you're all well." Which I like as an opener.
Like that. Of course, I've no idea. What am I, a doctor? For all I know, I could be dribbling with illness internally as we speak.
Well, he's got something to say about the volcanic ash. He says the Met Office are going to have to come up with some new symbols and phrases for the weather forecast now that we have ash in the equation. So to help them out, how about this? Rain and ash becomes rash, snow and ash becomes snash, and hail and ash becomes hash.
Well, I don't want to get soaked in sleet and ash. That's what worries me. Well, I'm glad people are joining in. We're on 8, 12, 15 if you want to. Just text us about anything. You can text us if you like about restoration drama, and we'll talk about it, because we don't care. You can also text us about the life of the African toad.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe you've seen a great blockbuster film like Hamlet or Macbeth or Romeo and Juliet.
I saw a film about Hamlet.
Yeah, I did as well.
Yeah, and that was all right. I preferred Hamlet, but it was sort of like the making of. I don't understand. Anyway, did I have a brilliant day last Saturday?
Oh, you had some good news, didn't you?
Automatic promotion with 3 games to spare. Yes, I don't mind if I do. It was great. I went up to Doncaster. There was me and Adrian Childs, the TV celebrity, and Matthew Taylor, who's a mate of ours, and I don't think you'll mind me saying he was once head of the Labour Party's policy unit. So
wow.
He's one of the cleverest men I've ever met. It's honestly like hanging out with an enormous Wikipedia. He knows everything. And we were on our way to the game, and we got a phone call from a guy we know who works for the Albion called Simo, and he said one of the players needs some flowers. He said he just needs 1 flower, really. He said
flowers?
He really needs just 1 flower. So if you pass any flowers or anything, can you just grab one? So we ended up stopping on the dual carriageway safely, can I say? And Matthew had to get out and pick a daffodil.
Oh, that must have been a nice flower.
Yeah, so we could take. I mean, we have no idea to this day what it was about.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. Why would you need 1 daffodil before an important football match?
He's addicted to flowers. He needs to eat flowers before going on the pitch.
I resent that remark. You'll be sued by Gabriel Tamas.
No,
yes,
no,
that kind of thing. You say we got a problem, a daffodil problem at the Albion. It's people like you see, with your little casual remarks. Anyway, we had a fabulous time.
But it all ended well.
Oh, I'll say. You know what we did?
Or has it ended well, Frank?
I think so.
Well, I don't know. I worry. You see, your happiness does mean a great deal to me, I have to say. And I do worry about you being promoted now. Because to me, that's like going out with the really good-looking guy. You're spending your whole life, living on credit, waiting for them to dump you. Isn't it better to hang around in the lower reserves?
I think what it's like is, when you're in the Championship, the lower of the 2 divisions, it's a bit like, when you see someone you really fancy, and then you think, well, I wonder if I can, and then you get them right at the end of the season. You get them, and then it's like when you're in the Premiership, it's like being in an abusive relationship. When you don't know what mood they're going to come home in. You might get your head rubbed up the wall, all that kind of. That's what it's like. So that's part of life's ups and downs. But we did have KFC on the way to the game, and then because we got promotion, we had KFC on the way back. So I ended up having 2 3-piece dinners.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when you don't drink, you have to celebrate in other ways.
Your skin must have looked great afterwards.
Oh, it was fantastic. And that little string bow tie I had with the white beard. I don't know where that came from. But, oh, man, I absolutely KFC'd through the window.
Absolute Radio.
So what about Dan Gosling?
Oh, Dan Gosling.
You know idea what I'm talking about, eh?
Whatever next.
Dan Gosling is an Everton footballer who's done his ligaments in, and the club, to make sure he doesn't do himself any more damage, he's a young bloke, he's a footballer. They've fitted a stair lift in his house. And I read that story, and it said that his fellow teammates have been having a go at him about it. What a surprise! And I thought, actually, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'd love that.
I think what's good for Dan Gosling is good for the gang. I'd love a stair lift in my house. There's something really I mean, I'm not wishing one on me by need.
No.
But I think it's all right to have something that you don't need. I had a conversation with a lady in a wheelchair the other night, and I was saying to her, I've always fancied one of those mobility scooters because you got all your stuff with you. I love having all my stuff with me.
Yeah.
See, blokes don't get this. You got to fill your pockets. I saw a bloke on a mobility scooter, and he had a little tray in the front of him. He had a chess computer.
Oh, that's lovely.
Shopping with a chess computer.
Yeah.
Well, because usually when you stand up, you don't have a lap. So you can't have a laptop, but if you're sitting down, then you will have a lap.
Well, you could have a laptop on a strap around,
like a cigarette,
sort of like a harmonica,
or like an electric. Well, that'd be a bit high, wouldn't it? But you could have, you get Who was that? You used to have keyboards on straps.
Oh,
in the 70s, right? You could have a laptop like that.
We should bring that back.
I'm on about those mobility scooters. You get like a drinks holder,
all sorts
stuff like that. You can
and you know what? You get respect as well. It's like Ben-Hur in The Chariot. I think people respect you when you're walking down the street. I step out of the way of a mobility scooter.
It's always a good idea. I just jump on the back of it like the men do at the bumping cars on fairs. Start spinning them like they do on the waltzers. Come on, mate, way! Chess pieces flying in all directions.
When I was at university, I used to fantasise about just being on like a hospital bed the whole time and just being pushed around by nurses to my lectures and stuff.
I'm sure that could have been arranged.
And did you invent Rag Week? What did you do at university?
I did media arts.
What does that mean?
Watch telly?
Yeah.
And painted?
We had screenings where we had to go and watch telly.
You're
and
joking.
like films.
But you didn't. You just lay in a bed, and then Laura came in and told you what had happened in the lectures, and that was it. That's your life, isn't it? A bed being pushed around.
You know those stair lifts, though, Frank? I have an apartment, and so it's all on one level.
You have an apartment?
But can I just get a stair lift that would be like an affixed kind of wall travelator, so I could just go from room to room?
Well, I mean, what you want is a cable car.
Oh, that's it, Frank.
A small in-house... I'll tell you what has surprised me is the escalator has never really progressed into the domestic home. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
You only ever get them in big shopping centres and stuff like that. I'd love an escalator at home.
That's a great idea.
Wouldn't it be brilliant?
But you need a down one as well. I guess it could be reversible.
Oh, no, I'd just go down on the stair lift.
Oh, yeah.
It would be better for me because I've got shiny wooden stairs and you don't want to be on them in your stocking feet. It's a death trap.
Yeah. Also, slides haven't really taken off around the home.
Slides would be brilliant. Again,
escalator up, slide down.
Sliding down, that would be fantastic. And I'll tell you what you could do. You can have your dirty washing basket at the bottom of the slide.
That'd be great.
So you could chuck dirty things into that, and also to soften your landing when you'd have that slightly post sock and pant odour about you when you climbed out of it. But that you'd soon shrug that off.
You'd have to be disciplined to not putting plates down it and stuff, because if you had a lot of stuff, and you can put crockery, because then when you got to the bottom,
but see, you've taken a negative. You're already thinking about the things that could go wrong. Let's think about things that could go right.
Let's dream.
I love a shoot, though. Oh, I'd love a shoot.
That frightened me to death.
I would.
Let's see how long this record is. You might have a chance to squeeze one in. I love the next record, actually, but it's just a minute. Yeah, so if anyone is listening and they want to text us and say what gadgetry would improve your home life, we'd love to hear it, because it's about it's stopped that in-house thing.
The sort of teasmade phenomenon.
Yeah, the goblin teasmade. I miss her.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
We had any text messages, Granville?
Well, we've had a text in on 81215 saying, Frank, give us a wave.
Okay, where's my
Find the
I can't just do it.
Frankie, give us a wave. Frankie,
let me do it. I'll do it the way managers do it.
Okay.
So I'm watching the game over here, right? And then
okay, Gareth, 1, 2, 3. Frankie, give us a wave. Frankie, give us a wave.
It's like that. It's always done like, I'll give you a wave, but I'm actually quite busy. That's it. You don't want to turn around and give them a really big wave, and then there's things, they think, well, hold on, do you care about us or do you care about the team? You've got to be careful. Now, we've had some texts in from people suggesting gadgets they'd like around their house. Oh, yes. Well, Mike in St Albans actually has a gadget-related anecdote, saying he recently went to a bar in Austria that had a slide down to the toilet. He said it wasn't literally into the toilet itself, though. Slide down to the... I'm worried that might have been a whole flat that had been built downstairs in Austria. A slide, but no upward way of getting... Yes, I don't like to say... Well, the trouble about a slide down to the toilet, wouldn't it be tempting to just use the slide and think it'll get there eventually?
Cut out the middle, man.
Exactly.
How do you get up? You have to clamber up? Oh, awful.
Well, you wouldn't have to climb... Oh, no. You wouldn't have there must be stairs up. I'd love to slide down to the toilet. That would be brilliant, though, wouldn't it? Oscar has said he'd like a Corby trouser press. Dreaming big, Oscar. You can buy those, though. I've only ever seen them in hotels, but I'm sure you can buy them. I did. Have you ever tried one, Gareth? Yes, I believe I have. Did it work? Took a while to heat up. It took ages. absolutely.
Oh, they take forever.
I tried to do a pizza in one in a hotel in Enfield, and oh man, I ended up just eating what was essentially just cold pastry.
I used one when we did the show from Preston. That's how recently I used one. My dress was creased.
Oh, did Preston?
Isn't that where we did the show from?
Yeah, I'm thinking Preston.
Oh.
Clearly you were having
something there. Let's workshop that.
That was a subliminal message. What else are we hearing from the stratosphere?
Well, Edward Gardner has suggested he would like...
Ed Gardner?
Ed Gardner.
Isn't he the Ed Gardner?
He says he'd like a mini ride-on railway to deliver food and mail around the house and dirty laundry to the utility. I like that idea.
I like that he's delivering mail around the house. How many people live in Ed Gardner's house? I suppose that's the way it is when you're Ed Gardner.
We also had a text explaining the volcanic ash phenomenon from Ed Pizenap.
Ed Pizenap?
Yeah.
Oh, he's one of my regulars.
Yeah,
is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't bring your work here.
Ed Pizenap.
Hi, Frank, Emily and Gareth. From what I can work out, the volcanic ash that stays in the atmosphere is made up of very fine particles.
From what I can work out. I'm imagining him at a blackboard with chalk doing a series of calculations. How fantastic.
Oh, talk sciencey to me, Ed.
It's very fine particles being so light. The forces acting upon it by the atmospheric winds could be enough to overcome the forces of gravity for some time. Hope this helps. I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
Well, I think he does, but I think you read that out and you panicked halfway through and thought, I don't understand this.
Yeah, and then you transmitted that to the listeners and to us. I hate that. I feel I've been let down in a big way. What you did, you actually, it's as if that text message came with a slide and you got on it. So it's lighter than sand, is that true?
Someone said it was like talcum powder. That's a helpful analogy.
Does anyone in the world still use talcum powder?
Yes, Lindsay Lohan does. She said that's why her shoes were all... because her shoes
covered
were all...
in powder.
Yeah, no, but that's true, because some people do, because it stops your feet sweating, apparently. I don't sweat, so I wouldn't know, but apparently people that do sweat, that's what happens.
It's the sort of thing that the people used when I was a child. Obviously, they used it when I was a very small child, on my behind. Yes. But I mean, I can't believe it's still... I find it creepy.
I put some on Ethan.
Yeah?
There's still children around.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolute Radio.
We've had an email in, Frank. This was actually sent in during the week. I like those ones.
Yeah, it's incredible that people would actually sit down and write one during the week when we're not even generating.
Exactly. Very loyal, these people.
Marie Antoinette lesbian.
Very loyal, my people. This is from Muriel from Shanghai. Oh, she sounds glamorous. I like her.
She does. Muriel from Shanghai. Brilliant.
Hi, Frank and team.
It is a strip club in Oldham, but carry on.
She's training for the London Marathon on the 24th of April. She's going to be flying back especially to run for the first time ever with her little sister.
If she can fly, why is she running? That's amazing.
She might not even make it.
No.
If the grit's in the air.
Volcanic ash.
Anyway, carry on.
She says, we're going as the Chalk and Cheese sisters. This is because Beth is like Emily. Oh. Obsessed with fashion, looking beautiful and spending money. Oh, yeah, I like the sound of her. She is cheese, and I'm more like Gareth. Just plain sensible. Chalk. Oh.
Gareth is plain sensible.
That's odd, isn't it?
Yeah, chalk.
Why are they saying Emily's like cheese, sort of mature and pungent?
Oh, I'm happy to
like
be described
Brie.
that way.
She's got that kind of white,
Frank,
paste,
be very careful, Frank.
clammy skin about
Frank.
it. You know what I mean?
Frank, be careful.
Okay, sorry. That was me being careful. I'll tell you what I haven't done this morning.
Go on.
If I can just get my mouse working. Come on, you idle little git.
Get your mouse sorted.
Saturday morning!
How about that? I forgot to do that.
People don't often describe me as sensible.
No.
Don't they?
That's quite nice. This week, my mum likes a bargain.
Right.
Oh, dear.
And likes going to charity shops, second-hand things. This week she went to an all-new level with that.
Right.
She
said...
Presumably she didn't go to an all-new level, she went to a second-hand level.
Yeah, no. New to her.
Yeah, okay.
She said, she phoned up Laura very excited that she'd got something for Ethan. She had gone out at lunchtime.
Ethan is Gareth's baby, any new listeners.
Oh, yeah.
She'd gone out on her bike in her lunch break, and in a skip outside a hotel, she'd found a chair for Ethan.
Lovely, from a skip.
From a skip.
Marvellous.
That's a nice present for a child.
Was
a
there
chair.
an old computer monitor in there as well, which they're always in? I bet it
And
was
some
one of-
asbestos.
It'd be an office chair, wouldn't it? They're always in those.
Always
skips.
an
What's
office
it like?
chair.
What's the nature of the chair?
Well, she took it home on a bike as well. She's on a bike, so this is... Well, it's like a little chair that's painted like a giraffe. It's painted orange and has a giraffe face on it. But it's got terrible cracks down the back. It's cracked.
Yeah.
And people have thrown it away because they thought, oh, we don't want that near kids. Look, it's cracked and looks terrible.
Yeah.
And she's brought it home for Ethan.
So how have you handled this diplomatically? Because obviously it's you know, they say it's the thought that counts. It's a nice gesture, isn't it?
No, I don't think it is a nice gesture.
Oh,
no.
I see skip picking as an act of great warmth.
my mum knows that I don't like second-hand stuff and stuff like that, and she's got something from the skip.
Tighty!
Exactly.
So
I mean, to be fair to your mum, I would have thought that was quite an... I would have assumed that, I have to be honest. I'm looking at
What's
you
that?
today. I would have thought
You
you
would have thought I
were
liked
quite
second-hand.
fond of a second-hand shop or / skip.
Well, thank you.
I must. When I first saw you, I thought, here's a man who likes a cracked giraffe chair.
No, so I've refused to even be polite about it and have just...
Oh,
said it
now
was
that's,
dreadful.
you see, you don't want to hurt her feelings. It was an act of kindness. You could fight fire with fire and give her, like, 7 house bricks out of a skip you
all
found.
her future birthday presents are going to come from skips.
Well, I look forward to seeing what that is. It'll be a samples book. That's sort of thing you always get in there, those samples books that people have.
Absolute Radio.
You know, we were talking about gadgets that could improve your life.
Yes.
Gadgets in the home. What about a toilet that came to you by calling it like a dog?
I'm liking the sound of that.
What do you think of that?
Well, my suggestion is just use your dog as a toilet.
Perfect. Problem solved.
Yeah. You could get, and you know,
Yeah.
you could get if it doesn't have any suitable hollows in it, you could just strap a kind of one of those bedpan things to its back,
Well, sort
like a
of-
saddle.
A poodle would be quite absorbent.
It'd be a good
I thought
name
like
as
a
well
big-
for a toilet. Though.
That's true.
Yeah.
Morning, guys. This is my idea for home improvement. Comes from something I've done by mistake a few times. You know the button you push on your keys to unlock the car? I sometimes do that as I approach the house trying to unlock the front door.
Oh, drunk, I'll be bound.
But I think this might be a good idea, especially if you rig the house with some big yellow indicators to flash so lets you know if it's locked or unlocked.
I like that.
I
Actually.
quite like that. I don't like
Yeah.
the yellow indicators. That sounds very new, very
No, I
rich.
think that's clever. I mean,
Yeah,
and
that'd be
also,
brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you could have an alarm on the house as well, so to stop people from breaking in.
Yeah.
Write that down because I think that.
Well, that's an original
House
idea,
alarm.
an alarm on the
that could
house.
really catch on that house alarm thing. Yeah.
And Elaine says, Frank and the team, I have a Corby trouser press. It's great in the winter to warm them up before going out in the cold.
Oh, so not really for any sort of aesthetic reason. For that's different. You could put
warming up the trousers.
You could put pants and stuff in there. Put them in when you get to bed at night. Be like a bit of toast when you got up in the morning.
Well, sometimes just blast them with the hairdryer. I'll do that.
Well, I sleep in my pants, and I find they're often like a bit of toast in the morning. Sort of flaky. Anyway,
Right.
well, that's splendid news.
And Evie Gardner in Southam.
This is Ed's sister.
Oh, maybe it is. Has suggested a huge body dryer like the ones in Centre Parks. I haven't been to Centre Parks, but I like the sound of a huge body dryer. He sounds awesome.
A huge body dryer. Is that like a hand dryer?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
where you go
like
in.
a massive Dyson.
Oh, so it'd be you'd come out the shower
Yeah.
and then go into. No, I don't like the sound of that.
Oh,
at all. I
okay.
like toweling. That's one of my favourite things.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Oh God, every little nook and cranny. Okay.
Well, my favourite story of the week was Marie Lewis. Well, it's a bit of it. The headline is she's kind of tragic.
It's the kind of headline I think we all dream of in the entertainment industry.
She has been jailed for 8 months for stalking a Freddie Mercury impersonator.
Oh my God!
It says that she became abusive because she became jealous of the 45-year-old rocker's glamorous lifestyle. And,
Oh, well, she's got slightly mixed up there, hasn't she?
yeah.
Tell you
Yeah.
what I like about that. A lot of people, a lot of stalkers, when Freddie Mercury died, they would have crossed him off the list. What I like about her, she's learned to make do and mend. She's stalking him by proxy.
I like the glamorous life of the impersonator from Five.
Well, he does. He's performed 3,000 times as Freddie Mercury, and she approached him once as he was turning on a town's Christmas lights. So he gets around.
She's not a woman who's thought this through, is she? I think if you're going to approach your victim, try and get him when he's on his own in an alley, not when he's turning on
maybe
the
where
Christmas
it's dark.
lights. Yeah, exactly. Well, perhaps it was dark just before. She thought, this is a good time. Whoa! And suddenly there's like big reindeer and stuff lit up above the pool. I feel he should be stalked by a sort of a stalker-like. Someone who isn't really a stalker, but who's like dressed up like one. Then we could have a whole secondary world.
A stalker tribute act.
Yeah, exactly. That would be marvellous. There's a famous stalker. I can't think of a famous stalker other than John Stalker, the former head of the Met. But if you dressed as John Stalker, it's all getting far too complicated.
Can I just say, I'm trying to concentrate, but I'm just being drowned out by the sound of flirtatious laughter. Stephen Mangan has arrived, and so has Rhys Thomas. And Daisy, who works on the show, is out there having a whale of a time with them.
Daisy working her magic.
Well, exactly.
She is such a minx.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
It's nice, that.
I love that song. I love They Might Be
I
Giants.
like the idea of a birdhouse in my soul. It's just, where is the tray going to be that you have to pull out with all the lime, the bird lime on it?
I made a birdhouse at school. It had mesh. We've got
That's what we call a Gareth dote.
Yeah, it's a Gareth anecdote.
Yeah, it's.
And what would you say it's defined by, Frank? A Gareth dote?
Well, I think Gareth dote. It's a bit like when you're in a building, an old building, and you open a door and you realise that it's just, even though you're on the 4th floor, it's just the outdoors, and you're left there just gazing, thinking, "Oh, I thought there'd be a room here and interesting things to look at," but no, it's just space and a hint of danger.
Well, that had an ending. It had mesh.
Okay.
It had mesh.
Okay, let's not.
It's a payoff of sorts.
Let's not reiterate.
We've got an email. Frank.
We've got an email.
Frank, at the end of the trailer for your new TV show...
Oh yeah, this is... Can I just interrupt? So this is Frank Skinner's Opinionated.
Oh, no, don't.
No, I would like to say I loved your show last night. I know you get angry when I say anything, and I praise you, but I loved it, and I have to say that.
Thank you, but I think people who are on the radio talking about their TV shows make it sound like, let me reassure you, I have proper work.
Yeah, but you're not talking about it, I am.
Okay.
Just accept the compliment gracefully. Continue, Gareth.
The way I see it is, I've got the radio show, and when I've got a spare time, I do a bit of telly.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's get our priorities right here.
Go on,
this is our little home, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not in the bright lights where people putting makeup on your face and giving you a lot more money. Who needs that?
Oh, I love the sound of that.
Oh, God, I've spoilt the whole thing there. Emily's going to go into TV.
Frank, at the end of the trailer for your new TV show...
Oh, new TV show this, new TV show that.
Why do you move your tie to the left?
Oh.
Were you trying to predict where they'd place the 2 template? That's because it's on BBC Two and they have the big cut-out 2.
Like I was deliberately pointing at it, like... do you remember that quiz game with the robot that used to point to the correct answers? No, you don't. Okay. What was it called? Oh,
Countdown?
Anyway.
That's a rude way to talk about Carol
It was a board game with like a little... It was a robot. He used to point with a metal rod, and it was all magnetic. It was absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
it was
I don't know that.
better in many ways than penicillin.
Probably that robot got out of control and killed some children. That's probably what's not available anymore.
Yeah, it was only about 4 inches high. Anyway, what happens is that I've developed in recent months a bit of a belly. It might be.
Not true.
It's true. I can show it to you if you like.
Oh, no.
Just.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Frank, don't get that belly out. No, Frank! Oh, my God!
So I find that when
Octomum.
Now I've taken to wear... Yeah. Watch it. I've already squirted a bit of ink this morning. So, I find that when I have a tie on and I sit down, it's as if the tie is atop a small hill. Right. And it can if it goes one way or the other, once it goes more than 2 inches left or right of my navel, it falls down the slope. So that's what happens on the end of the thing. It's become a real problem. Somebody put a type-in on it, but that was just like...
What do you mean somebody? The type-in person? Do you employ someone to do that?
There's a wardrobe lady.
Oh, okay.
And but the belly, as the belly gets higher, the tie is more precariously placed. I did see an advert for a thing called a myrtle.
What's
which
that?
it's a man girdle.
Oh.
And it's not like there's no buckles or anything of that nature on it. It's much more subtly. It just grips. It just grips takes the stomach in a vice-like grip.
Absolute Radio.
Rhys Thomas and Stephen Mangan are with us.
They're
Good
already
morning.
my favourites, and they haven't even been here like 2 minutes. I love them.
You're just basing it on physical things.
Yeah,
aren't you?
maybe.
I hate that you're so superficial. So good day to you.
Hello.
Good morning.
I'm glad you got in okay.
Just about.
There was a problem.
Well, I knocked on the door downstairs, and the very nice security man said yes. I said, oh, hello. I'm here to do the Frank Skinner show. You want to watch the Frank Skinner show?
I'm afraid you're about 8 years too late.
I'm on the Frank Skinner. You're on it. I mean, I'm appearing on it. I see. He brought me up. And then he knocked on your window and said, someone's here through the glass. Did you see that?
I didn't even...
Pointing at me.
He didn't even knock that well. I didn't hear him.
Well, it's soundproof glass, luckily. But he just banged on the glass saying, someone is here.
Is that soundproof
Could have
glass?
said a guest, couldn't he? Someone.
Perhaps
Nice he thinks you're someone.
I think his hands are still slightly gelatine formed. So he just, when he knocked on the window, it kind of went... Well, of course he'll be listening downstairs now,
Well,
and
he
he'll
won't
just
let me
be
out.
sharpening his axe. Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, but I'm glad you made it.
I'm here now. It's all that matters. I feel like we're about to record an album. There's so many of us.
Yeah.
It's brilliant,
Great, isn't it? It's like you're the drummer and we're the backing vocals or something.
It's like a big charity single.
We're like S Club 7, really.
It's Club 5.
Well,
Yeah.
we're just talking about, because we were talking about this woman who's stalking a Freddie Mercury lookalike, which is about as low rent as you can get in the stalking.
Is she a stalker lookalike?
Yeah, well, we've been through all this,
Oh, have
Steve.
you? Sorry.
But it turns out that we have someone with proper Queen connections.
Yes.
Am I right, Rhys?
Yes, I work with Queen. Well, what's left of them. And I produced their DVD. I'm a big fan.
Right.
My sort of dream came true. I wrote this sitcom, and we asked Brian May to do the theme tune for it, and he said yes. We couldn't believe it. And then we said, who makes your DVDs for you? He said, oh, no one at the moment. And I said, well, we will. And me and my friend produced 5 of them, and we went on tour with them and all that kind of stuff. It's like a childhood fantasy coming true.
You dreamt
That's
of producing
amazing.
Queen DVDs as a child.
Well, I kind of dreamt... Yeah, I did. No, well, I didn't know DVDs would exist. I dreamt about DVDs first, and then they came, that dream came true. I didn't dream about...
Nostradamus.
And then I dreamt about HD DVD, which didn't take off. So that was a nightmare.
Okay.
But Blu-ray has come on. No,
Have you dreamt about any stuff that hasn't happened yet that we can tick
I
off
can't
each
tell you
week?
these things because it's too serious.
Frank, you could do that with The Fall. Frank likes Marky Smith and The Fall. Do you like The Fall?
No.
Well, I
No.
can stalk a Marky Smith tribute act. I don't know if such
I don't know
a
if
person...
there are many of those
I
around.
don't think there are. There must be loads of Queen ones.
I've seen a Queen. There's a Queen, a band called Queen, KWEN. They're Japanese, and there's a tiny little Freddie Mercury. He's about 4 foot tall. And he does all the AOs and everything, but in a slight Japanese accent.
He's a sort of travel Freddie Mercury. Just throw him into a hold-off.
You can look him up on YouTube and
See, the
have a look for Queen.
roadies just carry him in a flight case. Where's the Freddie?
But all the others are all Chinese with big haircuts and things. It's worth looking at if you're bored. I do it quite a lot.
Anyway, we should say you two just made a new movie
We have.
called Beyond the Pole.
So I watched last night and I loved it.
Oh, great. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's
Oh, she's
brilliant.
coming full of it this
I
morning.
like
It's
that.
true, I
She's
did.
become ecologically aware and all sorts.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's funny. It's not like...
Yeah, it's not a message movie,
No.
is it? No, because message movies aren't good.
No.
It's a comedy about 2 lunatics who walk to the North Pole.
Can I just say that's a good message? Movies aren't good, Stephen Mangan. That's a nice thing to be known for.
You can
You
quote
didn't
me
like
on that.
Malcolm X?
No,
No, there weren't many
Gandhi.
jokes in Malcolm X.
rubbish.
Weak.
No, I thought Malcolm X. Just the title's quite negative. It looked like it was called Malcolm, and somebody didn't like it.
Is it true that someone said it was called Malcolm? Someone thought it was called Malcolm 10. That's a genuine.
Oh, is that right?
An American, I bet.
That's true. And what was another film they had to take? Oh, Richard.
Madness of George III.
That's right,
They
yeah.
had to
Yeah.
rename in America because they thought no one would have seen Madness of George I and George
And
II.
well, I had the same problem with Mange 2. Someone asked me if I wanted Mange 2, and I said I didn't really like Mange 1. I'm not going to mess around with the sequel. They looked at me in a strange, blank way, as many of you are. But in my life, You have to just go for blanket bombing when it comes to comedy. You'll kill some, but you'll miss others.
Absolute Radio.
Read my mind, killers. Shut up! And Rhys Thomas and Stephen Mangan are with us. They've just made a film called Beyond the Pole, which they're now going to explain to us.
Right, it's two lunatics who walk to the North Pole.
That'll do it.
That's it.
Okay.
Unsupported, no help.
Did you film in a big studio in Elstree with lots of artificial snow and all that kind of...
Sadly not. We filmed in Greenland in a place, what's it called?
Tobin Sound.
Right.
We basically flew to Iceland, fog-free. We flew then to Greenland in a little plane, and we landed on an airstrip in the middle of nowhere, white to snow for miles around.
Brilliant.
Got on a motorised skidoo for 4 hours, was it, or something?
Well, I've
Across
been
the-
on a
across
skidoo.
the
It is
sea.
great, though, isn't it?
Oh, amazing.
It's
But we
amazing.
weren't sitting on the skidoo. We were in a cardboard box being pulled behind it.
Yeah.
It was quite bumpy.
With no
wasn't it?
padding on the
It
seats.
sounds some like a taunting of the homeless tournament.
When we went
very
out.
clever,
When we went there, we were all excited, and then we came back basically broken. Do you remember? And I'd got quite drunk the night before, and I had so much red wine, and I was so sick that the production manager came in and thought I'd died. It looked like I'd been murdered by an Eskimo, but I hadn't.
Like when you see a baby seal on the ice.
Yeah, it looked like that, yeah. And then I had to be I bounced all the way home. We were stuck there, weren't we, for an extra night?
Yeah, the snow came in.
The terrible thing is that the production company shot 12 Eskimos as a warning.
As I wanted to
Before they
take the others
realised
in
that
line.
was like the Nazis used to do.
They weren't actually. I must say they weren't Eskimos. What's they're Inuit.
Inuit.
Yeah,
So where did you guys stay then? Is there a Hilton?
They were converted sea containers.
You must have been to the Inuit Hilton. That's great.
The Inuit Inn. It was the
Holiday Inn.
It was basically
Sea containers.
sea containers that
Yeah,
were
that's what it'd be.
converted
It'd be
into.
the holiday Inuit.
Oh, he's on fire.
Tell
this
us about
morning.
the sea. Sorry.
The Premier. Yes, we were. I'm stuck on we were, but I'll get
Yeah.
through it. We were driven to set every day by huskies.
Yes.
weren't we? Huskies. Eight
drove.
Huskies.
Oh, I
drove.
love the sound of that.
They break wind on the what they do.
Can they reach the pedals?
You're nose level with their anuses, you see.
Yeah.
And
They're very
they do.
tall out there, aren't they?
No, because you're sitting
You're
down on
making
these
this trip
things.
sound really. You're really.
And they do.
You're
And
really
they were
selling this
it's
Greenwood
disgusting.
trip.
But the other thing is, we couldn't. In terms of toilets, you think about toilets, how lucky we are. We just flush our chains. We shared a house together and two
Speak
other
for yourself.
girls.
Where's this going?
And you'd have a toilet seat with basically a bucket underneath and a bin liner in it, and we just look and go, hang on, is that it? And you could see what the person had done before you, and you'd also be aware that they
Yours
could
were
see what you
magnificent,
did.
by the
Thank
way.
you very
Can I say
much.
that? I don't think I told you at the time.
But there was one girl there. She didn't go for 2 weeks. She
What,
didn't
the
go.
ladies had to share it with the
Oh, yeah,
gentlemen.
you can't not go.
She
for
did
2
go.
weeks.
She did go, and I pretended they were mine.
Oh,
We struck a deal.
Well, I don't think anything could be more lovely than that.
Did
could
you
it?
share it with the Huskies
That's like
as
Sir
well?
Walter Raleigh
That's love,
laying
isn't
down
it?
his
That's
cloak
love.
for Elizabeth I. In some ways.
So yeah.
Yeah,
so that
so
was
that-
it. It was mad. We had a guy behind us with a rifle in case we
Yep.
got attacked by polar bears
Yep.
at times.
Really? Are
Yeah.
you allowed to shoot polar bears? I thought
You are
Well,
if they
that
attack
comes into
actors.
the
Yeah.
film, actually.
I thought
Yeah.
they
Attack
were
comedy
very
actors,
rare.
you're allowed to. That's
Oh,
the
I
only
didn't know
time.
that. That's
Also, the other we had these guides, these Arctic guides, and they said the other problem is walruses will pop out of the ice. They're quite dangerous actually, and how they kill you is they dig their tusks into your stomach and suck your guts out.
Oh, they look so
They
nice.
look
can
so
suck
friendly,
through their tusks.
They
Like
use
two
their
big
tusks and then suck with their
straws.
mouth.
Oh, okay.
I
Sorry.
think someone's been having you on.
No, it's true. So, and you'd see them because they are, a seal on its hind legs is about 20 foot tall. If you knew that.
Hind legs?
They have fun with
Were
the
you
actors.
very near
Its hind
Sellafield,
flippers
man?
is 20 foot tall.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
If you're wondering why everyone is giggling, I think it was Emily's just said something funny.
What did I say?
I don't know.
I
You're going to
didn't-
say something funny. Can you
I
wait?
think
I've
you-
got the mic up.
Did you remember where you'd met Rhys?
Yeah, no, Rhys just said he recognised me. That was all. And we were talking
You're not
about
one
that.
of our webcam people, are you? rather slimy webcam people that we sometimes send in. Yeah, we do get people.
Tell
that
Emily
say-
to point the webcam at her.
Sometimes we get, the camera's not pointing at Emily. What's going on this week?
Is there one? Is that a webcam here? Or is that
It is.
security?
There-
That's my webcam.
Oh, right, so people can watch us too as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but about 4 people.
All right.
Who's going to watch a radio show on the webcam?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I did wave to someone today, so it certainly exists. I feel that we need to get some of the nuts and bolts of this film. If people want to see it, what do they do?
Well, if you log on to beyondthepole.com, there's a load of information on there. There's a trailer on there. There's lots of basically the film is touring the country like a band would tour a country.
Oh,
They
so
go-
it's not just going to be you can go and sit in your local cinema.
No, it doesn't. It hasn't worked like that because it's quite a low budget film. It hasn't. It's not like we've got loads and loads of cinemas and all that kind of thing. We're kind of touring and then gradually we're getting more and more fans. We've got about 5,000 fans on Facebook now.
That's a good idea.
It's a good
Tour in
idea.
a movie.
We haven't got any distribution at all. It's all David Earl Williams, the director, and Helen Baxendale, the producer. They're basically just doing everything themselves in a good way. They're
Yeah.
taking it. And the film's about that as well. People doing it themselves, and it's doing very well considering. Actually, it's just 2 people pushing it. I might make it sound like it's just 2 men on it.
I like it's 2 people pushing it. It
No,
sounds
it
like
is.
it's on a big trailer.
Yeah.
Being shoved around the country.
No.
No, because what happened? People are actually going to cinemas and saying, "Can you get this
Yes.
film?" And then the cinemas are getting the film in and showing it. So.
Fantastic.
And it stars a guy called Alexander Skarsgård, doesn't it? Who's very famous now. He's in a series called True Blood. Plays a
Yeah.
very big in America. This film's done very well in America, actually. It's won the Phoenix Film Festival and a few other things. They seem to like it. So
we can call it an award-winning
it is an award. It's
Yeah.
won about 3 awards.
And Rhys, aren't you one of the top 10 people in Great Britain or something?
Yeah,
according to the radio.
I'm one of the top 10. Yeah,
What
I'm
is
number 3. Not really.
What does it mean?
That's
No,
amazing.
It means nothing. It means the Radio Times did a list of all the people they thought would be big this year, and they said that I was one of them. Along
that's
with
brilliant.
Barbara Windsor and Chris Evans and Matt
Barbara
Smith.
Windsor could be
Bar-
big this year.
Yeah, because she's leaving EastEnders.
It's about
like
time.
It's the
That time
faces
has
to
come.
watch. Yeah. So I'm a big face.
And what number was I then?
You weren't there, I don't think.
right.
I
We need
speak
to
to
get
you
this
as a
list.
man who was number 45 in the nation's top stand-up.
Oh, he's brought it up. I can't bear it.
45.
Who was number-
I have never been so excited.
Will you
Yes,
be-
I've been like Iceland this week. I've been bobbling under with the sieging
Oh,
rage
Frank.
of
I was quite
war.
relieved because I could go to bed early.
You're like me. Me too.
I hope you weren't beaten by Joe Pasquale.
No, I was.
Where did
I
Pasquale
carried
come
him in
in?
my arms in the poll. He was number 94 or something. He was there. He was.
Because he nicks everyone else's material.
Yeah,
We
that's
like to
something.
think he's
You can't-
featured
don't
throughout
think
the
you can-
show.
I don't think he nicks everyone else's material. I think he's a
Just
bit-
yours?
No, he nicks a lot of. He only nicks good people. I take it as I'm flattered.
It's like someone covering a band. It's like a band covering a song, isn't it?
It's like
I
the
love
Freddie
it.
Mercury.
I love it how you're flattered by that. Oh no, he only takes good people's material.
Yeah, that's great.
I like it.
There was a guy called Gordon Astley. Do you remember him? He presented the last ever series of Tiswas, and I met him. He did a mainstream comic act, and he said, "Oh, it's great to meet you, Frank." He says, "Your stuff always goes really well." It was so sweet. So what else have you guys got? Aren't you doing an American series?
I am. I'm doing a series with Matt LeBlanc. Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh, from
Starting in a week's
Friends.
time. Yeah. So we start filming in about a week, and it's set in.
You know Matt LeBlanc, don't you, Gareth?
Is he what? No, I'm not sure. Is he a relative of Raymond
Raymond
Blanc? Raymond Blanc.
That's the only celebrity Gareth's ever met, is Raymond Blanc.
I met him once in
He's
the Maison
Montblanc's cousin,
Blanc
I
in
think.
Ri-
That's very exciting.
Yeah,
isn't
it should be good. It's about 2 British writers who have a massive hit over here. With a
Is it
comedy
called Three
series.
Lions?
No, it's not. a big hit with a sort of history boys type, set in a very posh boarding school
okay.
with an elderly headmaster as a star, and it gets bought by the Americans, and they make us cast Matt LeBlanc as the headmaster.
Right.
So, yeah, we're filming here and over there.
Brilliant. What's next for you, Rhys?
Well, can I just say we've had a text in, Frank,
never
asking
know.
about Rhys.
Okay.
Can you ask Rhys if another series of Bellamy's People is on the cards?
We're going to find out very soon. It's only just finished, so they have to make their minds up and decide. We've actually filmed enough for a second series. We filmed so much material, that we've basically got a second series already filmed.
But that material must be slightly worse than the first.
No,
stuff.
it's actually better. It actually is better than. It's better than. Genuinely is better than.
I must say, I love Bellamy's people. You know that bit where he
good,
says,
isn't it?
"Look at this marvellous flower. It's been growing." It's
No,
not
not
like
David
it.
Bellamy. No,
No,
Terrible
something
fool
else.
myself. Well, look, it's been so. Go and see Beyond the Pole.
Yes.
It's on tour. It's touring Britain at the moment.
Yes.
And it's very funny, and thank you so much for coming in because we love you. You've now
We
got
do.
into friends of the show.
Oh, that's good. We can come back and talk
It's
about other
always lovely.
things.
And I didn't mention the Sport Relief mile run because Stephen beat me by
Did
quite
I?
a long way.
Did
Yes,
he?
You did, you.
Oh, he's very
smarmy,
lithe.
Mr. Smarmy. No, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Absolute Radio.
Time of your life, Green Day. I wanted to say Green Ray, because apparently if you sit with a girlfriend or boyfriend, wherever you go, and you watch the sun go down, if you are destined to be together forever, just as the sun disappears under the horizon, the very last thing, you see a green ray. And if you see green, then that means you'll
If
be
I
together
see green
forever.
dollars, I'll be together with them forever. That's what I
We
say.
all know that.
Green.
Hey, listen, Kerry says, you know you played The Fall earlier? Of course
Yes.
you do. My 4-year-old Ollie is clearly a Fall fan. We're in the car and he's been quietly watching a DVD for the last half hour and he's just shouted, "Turn this up, make it more rocky." And he's playing his plastic sword as a guitar.
I'm
Is that
liking
right?
the sound of that.
Love it.
I wish he'd have gone and turn it up, make it more rocky.
Also, Gary from Dunleer has asked, in Ireland, which Fall album you should start with, because he's researched and there's 724 Fall albums.
That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but there's a lot. Well, it depends whether you're the kind of person who wants a greatest hits or you want an actual slice of life. You know the way a studio album is them at a set time.
Yeah.
If you want the greatest hits, there's a thing called 50,000 Fall Fans Can't Be Wrong, which is absolutely marvellous. And if you want an album, I would probably say Hex Induction Hour is the
Oh,
place
yeah,
to start.
it's one of my favourites.
You get facts as well as funnies on this show. I say facts as well as funnies, Granville.
Now, Frank and Gareth, can I tell you about my little backhanded compliment from a child this week? You like the sound of that anecdote? Yeah?
I do.
The child in question was David Baddiel's son, Ezra.
Oh, Ezra, he's a sweet lad.
Oh, he's lovely. Do you know he's a friend? David Baddiel's a friend of mine and
No,
Frank's.
I'm not allowed near David Baddiel.
Okay.
He's not. He has no cooking skills. He's not. He doesn't come from Thrall.
So anyway, I saw David and I saw Ezra, which was always a treat because I adore Ezra and he's a bit of a prodigy as well. And
Yeah, he's got those like horn head
he
things.
hasn't. He's just very
Lots of
clever.
makeup
Fire
and
starter.
piercing.
So he came to kiss me goodnight, and he had a little
Kiss me goodnight, Sergeant Major. Tuck me in my little wooden bed.
and he had a little goodie bag with him. He'd been at Chelsea with David, and so he had a goodie bag, strange goodie bag. I
Get
said, "What?"
goodie bags at
Yeah, the
Chelsea. What
children
kind of
do.
a football ground is that?
I said, "What did you get?" He said, "I got this camera." A camera? What else are they going to give him? Some Hewlett Packard printer?
What did I get at West Brom? Dysentery. So,
Bad haircuts is what you get at West Brom.
Thank
Not you, Frank.
No, not me.
Not you. Anyway, so Ezzy got the camera out and he said, "Oh, I'll take a picture." There wasn't any film in it. He didn't want to waste the film.
No, that
But
would
he
be
went-
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what photographers do when they're ugly models. If a bad model turns up, they pretend to take the picture and don't have film in it. Anyway,
Ah.
so Ezzy went
no.
to take the picture, and then as he looked through the lens, he went, "You look so much younger through this." Oh, Ezzy!
Did you say, "Give me that camera! I want it for my own"?
Dave had to actually drag her off him.
I wrestled him to the ground.
He was going blue in the I couldn't have bared to watch. I was going to hit the Triffids music then, but we're running. The time is of the essence.
Absolute Radio.
Ben Jones will be along after this show.
He's already here
He's
and he's
already arrived, looking
Big Ben.
very lumberjack-like in a check shirt.
a little bit serial killer today.
He's just come in from the Yukon. Yeah, American serial killer.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the kind. No, not serial killer. Actually, man who goes mental in garage and shoots 8 people and then turns the gun on himself. That kind of serial killer. They're a seedier type generally.
I know what you mean,
Ben
Frank.
looks like he's been lovely for years, and then you know when the neighbours will say he's such a quiet bloke, always
Yeah.
never thought for a second he'd do anything like this. That kind of post-incident interview you get. Anyway, we like him. So he's got the baseball cap. He lives.
What
in
were
the
you saying
baseball
about
cap. I
West
think there's
Bromwich
no top.
Albion?
There's no top to Ben's head. That's what I've heard. It's just like a flagon. So, yeah, West Bromwich Albion. I once looked at a website of the Everton website when we were about to play them, and they said on there, you can tell West Bromwich Albion fans because they all look about 52, even the children. I have never been. Did we ever get to the? Did it get to the bottom of the gadget, the home improvement gadget thing?
Well, Carl in Southend says, "Hi, I'm a firefighter, and like all the others, I have a second job.
Hi, Carl.
As a carpenter,
Just
I
saying.
build laundry chutes and indoor play areas in homes, which include slides.
Hi,
So
Carl.
whatever you want done, Carl can do it.
Laundry chutes. See, it's all out there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might.
Everyone needs a shoot.
Did you know firefighters have second jobs?
Yeah, they all do.
I didn't know that.
I know a firefighter who does bits for me.
Yeah,
you do.
yeah. That's. I knew a gay man who. It's a true story. Who was so obsessed by firemen in a sort of saucy way.
A gay man.
He actually bought a house opposite a fire station, just so 'cause he just liked seeing them hanging around.
That's a great idea.
That's dedication. I'm not sure the heterosexuals have that kind of focused dedication. I think they're a bit more casual with their fancies.
Oh, yeah.
I like a specialist.
I have got a London Fire Brigade T-shirt, though, but that's another story.
Yeah, that was just left at your flat accidentally. Speaking of specialists, you know that Bluebeard, the serial killer, when he was questioned in court, this is what I call a specialist. They said to him, do you know how many women you killed? And he said, no, I don't know how many women I killed. I'm a murderer, not a mathematician. I love it. I love it when they get stroppy. It's fantastic. Anyway, good day to you.